this area right here. It looks like, oh, she's showing us a garden tour of her dirt pile. What did I garden here? Hey guys, what's up? It's Heather with the Mosco, and today we are out here doing the August garden tour. It's been a little while since I made videos, but my kids just got in school, and so we're out here making the August garden tour video. My name is Heather. This is the Mosco. I don't know why I came up with that name, so don't judge me. We live in East Tennessee, garden in a zone 7. It's right on the border of 7A and B. And my yard is not ready for a garden tour, but it is 66 degrees out here. The lighting looks beautiful. So let's do it. Some things, great. Some things the dogs have destroyed, and some things, not so great. Haven't mowed the grass. So to like look back, I work over 40 hours a week, and I work it in large blocks of time. So for the last 10, 14 days, 15 days, I've only been off 2 days, and every day that I work, we work 11.5-hour days. So I haven't been out here literally at all. And so here we are, but let's stop doing this and start going to look at stuff. It's chilly out here for me, so I've got a hoodie over my arms because I get cold very easily. Some might would say, namely my husband, that I need to get my iron levels checked. There's a lot of critters out here today. That's what you're hearing me look at. But let's stop doing this and start looking around. First of all, there's a Ray dog. That's my princess. It's a princess. Oh, it's a sweet girl. This is a Roo Bear. She's a sweet girl too. She's a sweet girl too. This is Jackson's dog. And this is a Jabbies. This is a wild Jabbies. A Jabbies out in the wild. She is the most likely to eat plants. So let's go take a look down here first, because this is looking much better than it's looked recently, and I'm really thrilled with it. So I've always wanted to do the thing where I just have a big thing of sunflowers, and I've been doing really good to like replant my sunflowers all the time. But Jabbies was recently busted crawling around in here. So things look a little worse for wear. And like a week ago, they looked really good. These are teddy bear sunflowers. And like I say, a week ago, they looked really good. There's nothing in here supporting them either. So that's part of the problem, is that they're just weighted down. But I did plant these, 60-ish days ago. I'm gonna break that right. And I planted them for cutting. Like, I liked, if I'm gonna make a production area, I really focus on cutting it, but I didn't cut it because it looked really pretty. Maybe I'll find a picture and put it up of it in its full glory, but I love these flowers. I bought a giant pack of them a long time ago, and this one's past prime, but they're beautiful, beautiful sunflowers. They last forever in a vase. But it just looked really good down here, and things haven't been looking that great in the yard recently because I'm still trying to train the dogs not to eat everything. That's why there's chicken wire over it. All of this is on drip irrigation. So then we got that. So this had something in it, and I can't remember what right now, so don't judge me. But I took it out, and I had more corn, and it looked like we'd have time to get another thing of corn. And so we put that in there, and this bed is coming apart. I would really like to replace these with the beds from, just put that back. We're just gonna put that back. Like a metal bed. So we'll see if that happens. I've had the hardest time with cucumbers this year, which is so weird. I usually have a lot of cucumbers. I don't buy pickles anymore. I make my own homemade pickles. It's something that I really enjoy, and I'm really proud of it. And I literally have gotten no pickles this year, and people have offered me cucumbers, but it's not the same if you don't grow them. So I'm getting some cucumbers here, so that's great. I started this super late when I realized my other cucumbers weren't doing good. I also have a clematis here that's doing good and climbing. Nothing was really climbing this until I put the chicken wire on it. So I put the chicken wire on, it's doing a lot better. Same thing on this side, we had a clematis. This side though, the chicken wire doesn't go all the way around to protect it, and the dogs have chewed a lot of things off of here. So we've got clematis looking good, but again, not climbing because my dogs keep chewing it off. This is the remnants of some, what was this? Butternut squash. Well, they ate it. So We do have another cucumber on this side, I think, maybe. So maybe we'll get some cucumbers here. Got a little bit more corn over here, but my germination rate wasn't very good. I think I had a problem with my drip. I'm probably going to take this corn out here in the next week or so and put some fall crops in here, probably carrots, something like that. This is Mexican sunflower. And I saw somewhere someone said, oh, you gotta grow a Mexican sunflower. And I love really bright reddish orangish flowers. And this sucker took forever to grow, and these plants are giant. I just threw some seeds in the ground. It didn't take forever to grow. I mean, they've been in here like 2 months. But look at that beautiful flower. And again, I've got these for cutting, and I don't know if I'm just not good at cutting them or I haven't figured out how to get a good vase life out of them. But I don't get a good vase life out of them, and they look beautiful down here. And quite frankly, they're like, hold on, like quite over my head. So I would have to, like, you know, I mean, I can reach up, will it do it? It's probably just gonna stay on my face. Get a plant and pull it down, but I think I'll just leave them here for the color. It is something nice to look at the yard. And that's not something that's something we're struggling with. I would love over time to pretty much landscape all of this. And I'm going to do a sun study. Oh, sweet girl. Oh, it's mommy's princess. This one's my doggie. Each kid picked a dog and I picked her. And we weren't supposed to get 3, but I'm a sucker, so here we are. And she's my sweet princess. She's a sweet girl. She eats stuff too, though. Let's not lie. She's eaten her fair number of hydrangeas, yes. And they say hydrangeas are toxic to dogs. And I did not put them out here with the intention of letting my dogs die. I learned that after the fact. I can assure you that small puppies can eat thousands of dollars in hydrangeas without a problem. Thousands. Okay, so back to this. This bed looks rough. For a little while, I stayed on top of making sure they didn't eat my drip tubing, making sure the weeds were at bay, fertilizing my Supertunias. They looked good for a while. And then I got real flippin' lazy. And I guess I could put this drip back where it goes. And this is the result. And so, you know, we've got our limelight here. Beautiful limelight hydrangea, beautiful panicle blooms. I don't think it's getting enough sun. It does bloom every year, but it's floppy right now. And then I've got, hold on, I gotta put this drip back, y'all. Bear with me. Why is it so wonky? Oh well. They keep ripping this little tube out that goes to this container. So this container looked a little better, but here's some cannas. I did have some Supertunia Bordeaux because I thought that would be really pretty, but the dogs ate them. The dogs actually ate the cannas too, but the cannas are looking pretty good. And the sweet potato vine, they have taken a liking to recently. There is some stuff that I was putting in here to keep them from eating things, and I have slacked off, and it shows because they've gone back to eating a lot of things. So this needs to be completely redone. Now I do think, let me swing myself around. I do think I'm going to do a sun study of this. And when I do that, I think I'm going to find that it's not as full sun as I think it is. Full sun is hard to come by in this yard. We are surrounded by trees, and it makes it beautiful and lovely, and I love that, and I wouldn't change that, but full sun plants is probably not for me. So I probably need to move this hydrangea over to somewhere that's got more sun. I think the blue spruce is doing fine. Like, I'm gonna leave it. It seems to be doing fine. It pushes new growth every year. I like it, but I think I'm gonna put maybe some oak leaves in here. Oak leaf hydrangeas or camellias, because we are on the border of being too cool for camellias, but I love camellias. I actually was born in South Georgia, and I love some of those South Georgia things, and so I would like to put a couple camellias in here, maybe I went through this phase where I really wanted all the perennials, and I think I'm leaning more towards shrubs. So camellias, a Japanese maple might be great over here because it gets some sun, so it would color up, but it's not gonna burn. So anyhow, that's what I'm thinking for this area. I'm thinking I'll redo it, but I'm gonna do a sun study first and see. We've also got this, boop, wrong way. There she is. Hibiscus probably needs to be moved somewhere sunnier. I did put, we'll flip back around. I did put some lamb's ear right here. Again, like I just need to come in here and maintenance all this. Like I need to recut out my line because I'm not very good at, I'm trying to learn to use my weed eater to do this. It's not going well, y'all. My weed eater skills leave something to be desired. So there's nothing over here still. I think again, you know, maybe oak leaf hydrangeas. There's some things happening over here. Lots of sticks, lots of not taking care of areas. There's the lone oak leaf hydrangea that the dogs did not eat. This tree is dropping a lot of seed right now. We've got our irises that need to be cut back. We've got the one Limelight Prime hydrangea. So this area gets a little bit more sun, but it recently had a hard rain and it washed out a lot of my stuff. And so I could put more full sun things here, a couple more evergreens, maybe not evergreens if it stays too wet. And then I would like to take this whole area and just host it. Just host it all the way around. Again, I didn't do anything. We're going to do something this fall about this grass or dirt. There's no grass here. That's why we need to do something about it. These are sticks that the dogs have just carried up, you know. This right here looks like it looks terrible, and it's the front of my house, and it's driving me crazy. So we got to do something about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So swinging back around, we've got the hostas that the dogs have eaten. Again, I need to stay on top of putting this stuff out here. The grass looks bad. This is the first Japanese maple I ever bought. Jason bought it for me, actually. And I don't know, guys. She keeps putting foliage out, but she looks like crap. I don't know. You know, we'll figure that out later. And then we've got over here my sad hedge of hydrangeas. I probably just need to move these. They're not getting enough sun to bloom. These are the endless summer hydrangeas. Just need to move those suckers. Over here, you know, again, flower bed that we're not cultivating at all because A, money, B, time. And then over here we've got where water was everywhere because the dogs ate the drip tubing. So that's fun. There were a couple trees over here that were dead and leaning towards the house. And so we took those out. And again, eventually I would love to put a flower bed on either side of this side area and maybe just do some moss in here instead of trying to grass it. Like moss it because it's so shaded over here, all the way over to basically right here. But I can't figure out how I would integrate those two, like a moss area and then a grass area. So put your ideas in the comments. This had all annuals in it and the dogs ate them all. And this is another Japanese maple. It is looking pretty good. It doesn't have very much burn. It's got some damage from probably bugs, but it's looking fairly good. And I would like to leave it in this container or get an evergreen for this container, but I think it's too shaded. But the annuals below it look like trash. Pretty much everything here was all filled in with plants and they ate them all. And again, that's my bad. I did not train them not to do that. I have not paid attention enough or watched them enough. That is my bad. It's not your fault, is it, Rue? I don't eat the plants, Mama. I don't do it, Mama. There's just a will puppy. Speaking of, there they are. Over here, again, we did have plants. Like, this is what it looked like. And we've got a camera over there so we can holler at them when they're in this bed. But over here, they've eaten all of it. It's really kind of sad because it would have been really pretty had they filled it in. But we're working on it. They're learning. You could see they use that for a trail. So right here we've got the El Brito Coleus, and I wanted to put a bunch of Coleus in here this year because I thought I could get this look of basically bushes and it would be cheap, and if they ate it all, we wouldn't be out a bunch of money. This is the container that matches the other container. Now what's interesting here is this looks like it's getting too much sun. Like, this is so burnt, but I've got new foliage over there, but I also think my dogs might have eaten a little bit of it. So we're gonna see maybe like once it's established a year in this container if it does any better. Underneath that I have these beautiful Sun Patience. And then I've got Creeping Jenny. The idea being the Creeping Jenny can stay here. Now, originally, I put the tree in here. Gosh, that tree looks bad. And then I put the Sun Patience and the Creeping Jenny. And the dogs ate it. They ate all of it. And like, look how pretty it would be. Like, just look at this. Like, that would have been really pretty. So I found the little pieces of Sun Patience in the yard. And so what looked like it had any roots on it, I stuck it back in the ground, but it didn't look like there was enough. And this was like my one spot of color that I wanted to be able to enjoy this season. And so I also bought these double up red begonias. Now I thought the double up red begonias would do better than the Sun Patience that I literally picked pieces up off the ground of, but the Sun Patience are quite doing better. Oh, they see an animal. And she's off. They're a fun group. So the Sun Patience are looking great. The Creeping Jenny is looking great because it grows under most conditions. The double up red begonias I'm not as impressed with. So we've got Wicked Rich Coleus here, and we've also got some black sweet potato vine, which looks great. Like how they ate one of these out like very recently. But look how beautiful this would have been. So we're gonna flip around and talk about this bed. I've talked about this bed before, but this is on this side. And this is the most full sun. These are just really floppy. I need to find a way to stake these, but these do really well for me. I love them. I love the color. I think the color goes with our house. I think the native plant looks beautiful. And then I've got two David Austin roses and two peonies. And this is my other lamb's ear that they're trampling. It's growing, it's doing fine, but they're trampling it. So let's talk about this bed a little bit and what we need to do about it. So I love David Austin roses. I think they're gorgeous. I have videos about David Austin roses on my channel. They're amazing. But I have learned about myself that I don't like light colors in my garden. Everything here is pretty much shade, and it's very, you know, modern log cabin Americana-y. And I need bright colors to stand up to the darkness of the house and the darkness of the shade. And if there's gonna be something full sun, I want it to be fully saturated. Stands out better. So I don't like the color of these. Roses need a ton of crap to keep them looking good. And then if they're not blooming, they're ugly. And they only bloom twice a year. Now I love the Rudbeckia here. It's beautiful, but it does flop. And I think if I moved it somewhere else, it would still be beautiful. I do want this in my garden. I just gotta find the right place for it. I also need to do something about them trampling this. I may do the thing where you put like the plastic forks in, so hopefully it like just deters them from walking on it. But I think I'm gonna actually dig all of this up. The peonies is the same thing. They're beautiful when they bloom, they smell delicious, but they instantly flop and they're a lighter pink color, which isn't my color anyhow. I think I'm gonna take all of it out, put gardenias in the middle, and ring it with the lamb's ear. Because then I would have 4 seasons of interest in the gardenias. The gardenias smell amazing. They have white flowers, white brightness stands up really well up here. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So then there's that. Yeah. And you might be saying, but they're perfectly good plants. If they're not working for me, I am a fan of if it's not working for you, get rid of it. If somebody wants it, great, but if not, it's okay too. All right, we're gonna come down here where things are looking bad. Let's look. Here's the hosta bed. The dogs, there's a couple problems with this hosta bed. First off, A, I need to weed eat again. Second off, B, I just need to weed the bed and put some mulch in. Third, the hostas, it's too much sun for hostas here. They bleach out. And I can come through here and groom them all the time, but they're not the big, lush, beautiful things they are in the spring. This planter is not on drip, and the dogs have eaten the sweet potato vine twice. It was looking really good because it was just like a mound of sweet potato vine, so at least it looked like interesting. And they ate the thing that goes in the top. So I think what we're gonna do when we get the time and money, remove all these hostas. We can divide them, they're huge. We can divide them and put them in the shade over there where they'll do great. And then I wanna put Incredible hydrangeas because this will get enough shelter to where those Incredibles won't burn, but they'll get enough sun to bloom. And I'm thinking I could ring this as well with lamb's ear because I love lamb's ear, it's beautiful. And it's blue and my house is orange, and so anything that's blue that contrasts. Let's go over to this planter. This is probably my favorite thing this year. Didn't turn out the way I'd originally planned, but I do love it. I do like to do something that has a specific color thing in mind. First of all, we've got these Brunnera, and if you'll remember when I planted this, or maybe I didn't make a video, I can't remember. But this was, I bought two because it's all they had, and I cut them in half, and they certainly filled in, look beautiful. Then we've got this beautiful ivy here, which is going to transition into fall really, really nicely. Some more Brunnera up here. And then we've got the, I can't remember what these are called, no. But they're a begonia. These I've had here multiple times. They do amazing. In fact, I just probably should do begonias a lot of places because they'll do sun or shade. And we have a lot of shade here and you'll get a lot of blooms. And these are just beautiful. And then we've also got, oh, look at this ivy. It's just like going to integrate over here, I guess. Those little cheap 4-packs of Impatiens. I do have an endless summer hydrangea in here, but it has recently died. Or not died, there's some new growth there, but it's not doing well. Would have been nice if it had gotten big and we'd had the big blue blooms, but certainly the begonias look beautiful. The container looks beautiful. This brings me a lot of joy. This is the door I walk in most commonly, so it's nice to have this here. Again, usually I come by and blow it and don't have all this debris, but here we are. So let's go over to the production garden. Let's stop here at the backyard. This used to have a lot of trees, but a lot of these trees were very dead. And they're very close to our house, so we took them out for safety issues. And we are putting grass in here. Actually, what's happened is weeds have just grown. I would like to get rid of some of this gravel, and I would actually like to do a hedge of Limelight Primes here. I think that'd be really beautiful, with like an opening. But we'll see how that pans out. That would be a big project, and we need to, yeah. So this year we've got our production garden, as you've seen before, out here, and it is fenced in so the dogs don't eat it, and I have not harvested, and I can see right now that the okra is gigantic. I put lots of seeds, or what I had left of Ruby Moon Hyacinth bean. I was in a throw seeds everywhere kind of mood this spring, and so there we are. So we've got a beautiful bee enjoying the Ruby Moon Hyacinth bean. We have them here for cutting. I have cut one. I like the foliage here. I like having some interest on the cattle fencing, and it's done pretty well. I wish it would have covered the entire fence, but you know what? It's done pretty well. I'm not going to complain. One of the things that I've learned this year is that my garden is too far into the shade, and we'll talk about that as we go. So this first row, again, we need to come out here and weed, and then we keep our supplies in the corner. And it's nice to have had a place outdoors to start supplying this, is that this is too far into the shade. And so these were watermelons. They did nothing. This was a zinnia pot. It's on drip. It's doing little to nothing. But the jalapenos are doing just fine over here. Now, would they be producing better if they were in more sun? Sure they would, but they're doing fine. So I've got 1, 2, 3 jalapeno plants, and they're fairly loaded. And then this is a shishito pepper, which is like a Japanese thing. We love Japan at our house and everything Japanese. And so we're out here looking at beautiful shishito peppers that have done really well as well. So I'm pretty happy with that. Again, I need to weed, don't judge me. This one I think is also a jalapeno. Oh, this is a red pepper plant. It's got a pepper on there. If it makes it before frost, great. These eggplants have been eaten to death, and they haven't produced large eggplants large enough to eat. So this is clearly not enough sun for them. They're trying, but they're not getting very far. This is a poblano. And again, the large peppers I don't think are getting enough sun here to produce. Then we had failed squash that got eaten. Oh, here's a cucumber that didn't make it. So then this was my panel for my cucumber. I planted on this sucker 3 or 4 times, and I did let this one go to ripe, but I mean, obviously it wasn't gonna do anything. We had green beans here. We got several containers off of those, so that did perfectly well for us. I was pretty happy with that. Here's our tomatoes, and our tomatoes are borderline in too much shade, and I haven't eaten anything all day, so I'm gonna eat one of these. But I've gotten quite a number of tomatoes on here. Fairly happy with that. Wow, that is really sweet. Delicious. But my heirlooms haven't been very productive at all. And, although here's one we need to cut. Clearly this one was eaten by a hornworm. Oh, there's a tomato that didn't make it. Something got that. So we need to come out here and harvest. I haven't pruned in a couple weeks, and it shows, but I did a pretty good job keeping them pruned throughout the season. Oh, we need to do so much maintenance out here. And so much eating. I'm starving, guys. But the general consensus out here is that I need to weed. I need to clean things up. I need to take some stuff out. There just needs to be a whole lot of maintenance done out here. A whole lot of buttoning up. A whole lot of harvesting. Because I'm looking at my okra right now. They're bad. So this was our cut flower row. This was snapdragons. And it did terrible. I mean, there's one right there trying to make it. So we are going to here shortly winter sow some snapdragon. I'm not. Fall plant, fall sow, and cool flowers. We're gonna do that. But the Dara did the best that it's ever done. And these flowers are beautiful. And I may come out here today or tomorrow and just harvest a ton of them. They're probably going to seed. My staking hasn't been so great, but the Dara looks beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Now look, this one's going to seed. Maybe we should save some of the seeds, There's one going to seed, and there's a bug. Yep, maybe we should save some seeds this year. Maybe that's the thing to do. All right, so then we had marigolds. The marigolds have done really, really well. Again, my staking system, so you see I put netting out, but I didn't stay on top of it and do a second row, and I really needed to. So we had some bachelor buttons this year. That's done the best it's ever done. The basil, ornamental basil's done the best that it's ever done. So I was really happy with that. And then over here, we had corn. The corn did okay. I pulled the corn. I need to come through here. I think this is where I'm gonna put my fall crops, actually. And then I had my zinnias. Zinnias did a little better last year than they did this year. They could use another row of staking. They are getting nailed pretty bad with whatever this stuff is. Y'all know what it is. Powdery mildew. And so they're probably getting to the end of what they're going to produce for us, but they're still producing a little bit. I will always grow zinnias. They are so beautiful, so colorful. So they're looking okay. They're making it. By far the thing that's doing the best right now is going to be the okra. And for those of you who don't live in the South and aren't familiar, this is too large for an okra to be. But I direct seeded these and let them go. They actually got pushed over in a storm. These plants are huge. So they're probably 8 feet tall. You do need to harvest them every day, and because I've been at work, I haven't been, and some of these are way too big. But they are loaded with okra, and I need to come out here and do something about it. Again, some of those won't be usable, but it'll be good. We've been eating a lot of okra. We will freeze it to fry, but the plants are huge. And also I tried to do squash again, and again failed at trying to stake them. But they're looking okay. They're looking like they might try to produce something for us. It is a little bit shaded here, and also it has been getting cooler, and so that might hinder its ability to produce for us, but they're doing okay. We did do some sunflowers back there, and we harvested a number of them, and it was fantastic. This year our dahlias have done better than ever, and again I have fallen down on harvesting these. This one's probably past time, but I've put these bags on them when they start to open, like a little bit bigger than that. Let me see. Right here. This needs a bag to prevent the bugs from eating the flowers. I ordered different varieties, but they all seem to be the same. I love the super dark flowers that are almost black. See how they get eaten? But I would like some variety. But we do have, oh, look. Isn't that beautiful? You're coming with me. But then we've got like this. Again, I need to come out here and harvest. And this here, really beautiful. This one obviously looking a little bit scantier, but it's producing. They are really putting on a show for us. These are just so beautiful. And I wanted it all kind of warm colors, and we definitely achieved that. My favorite dahlia, which I had last year and I lost it, and I ordered it again this year, and it does not look like, looks like it's one of the only ones that didn't come up, but is the, I can't remember the name of it, but look at this. Again, this has gotten eaten. These make really large dinner plate style flowers, and again, my staking system leaves something to be desired, but I'm having a lot more success on my dahlias than I ever have, and I'm very thankful for that and have enjoyed that a lot. We've brought in a lot of stuff. So then along this fence line, I put black-eyed peas or cowpeas. So basically you let them dry and then you can harvest these. I have some in the house and I need to come back again and harvest today. Usually they get much bigger than this. I'd like more like that, but even bigger. I'm not quite sure what the problem is. I don't know if the dogs were eating them, but I wanted something again on this fence line, and these were seeds I already had to kind of cover the fence line, but also produce something, you know, the idea being trying to get something out of every square inch of our garden. They're beautiful. I mean, look at these flowers too. Really pretty. But this is, if you've ever had black-eyed peas, this is black-eyed peas basically. And so you just open these pods and save them all dried. So we've got 2 Amazel basils. Have pulled a lot from this so that we could dry basil. We've got a super tunia over here. It's just taking over. Some lavender, some mint that I've just been using for flower arrangements. We had more blueberries than usual this year, which was great. We had some blackberries over here. This is, I've got rosemary, oregano, some weeds, and then we've got a strawberry plant. This was Wyatt's choice. And so it's looking really good. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy with everything. Again, this is August. I start to give up. Our cut flowers have done much better than our vegetables this year. And we did get onions and we got potatoes. But I would like to, I think, again, the further towards the woods you get, it's just too much shade to produce a lot of vegetables. And so I need to kind of alter where I'm putting things to compensate for that. I really have got like a lot of that okra is not going to be good, but I'm very happy with the okra. We've never gotten this much before. We've had a lot of successes out here. We've learned a lot of things, and that's what gardening and this channel in particular is about. This is not going to be the place where we're like, this is exactly how you do it, but instead trying stuff, learning stuff, putting stuff in the ground, even if you don't have ideal conditions. So we are very shaded as a general rule here. This is the most full sun that I get. And so I've got to make this work. And even if it's not as productive as it would be, I've got to figure out a way to make it work, or put things in unusual places, or use different methods to growing things in order to get where we want to go. So anyhow, that is the August garden tour. Again, very impromptu. Nothing was put together for this tour, I can assure you. So hopefully either you're like, oh, her yard looks like mine 90% of the time. Or you're like, oh, that's cute. She's got a gardening channel. Her yard looks like trash. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you in the next one. Bye.